Hey, it's Warren Sprouse. You're on the Bible Forum. We're here every Sunday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. We look at life through a biblical lens. We generally solve all the world's problems in 2 hours or less. Love having you a part of the show live. We've got folks in the chat room, but if you're watching this on a YouTube later on or just through the week, as folks tend to do, we welcome you. Have two issues that I want to discuss with you in the next few minutes. One is former President Barack Obama failed at transforming America and did not succeed in that. But he did succeed at transforming the Democrat Party. Now, some of you say Democratic Party. There is no Democratic Party. There is the Democrat Party. And those folks are not very democratic. Secondly, from the moment he was in the Oval Office, Obama began funding his private foundation. It's called Organizing for Action. And he funded this private organization with government money. Let me explain it to you. News outlets are reporting that Obama staffed the Department of Justice, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Department of Education with what they're calling activists. Activists who were oriented toward transforming our society. They immediately began targeting blacks, conservatives, and millennials with left-wing divisive messages. Enormous sums of money were lavished upon radical groups and agendas. We could go into the list, but you keep hearing them all the time anyway. We're not going to do that. But let me tell you where the money came from. Initially, the organization, Paul Sperry tells us in an important New York Post article that Obama's private foundation, Organizing for Action, directly churned out community organizers by the tens of thousands. You've heard about them showing up at Trump rallies and now at other places. How do these people do this? How do they get off work to travel these distances? Thousands of them in some cases, turning out all the time. Apparently the press is right, and they're being paid. According to Hans von Spakovsky and Christian Adams, two attorneys who previously worked in the Civil Rights Division, every single one of the hundreds of lawyers hired during the Obama administration, every single one was a left-wing activist. The Obama Justice Department, they wrote, has assembled a law firm of hundreds of fringe leftists to enforce a brave new vision of civil rights laws. Obama has an army of agitators numbering more than 30,000 who will fight his Republican successor at every turn of his historic presidency. And Obama will command them from a bunker less than 2 miles from the White House. And how will he pay for all of this? Kimberly Strassel reports the Justice Department prosecutes cases against supposed corporate bad actors. Those companies agree to settlements that include financial penalties. Then the Department of Justice mandates that at least some of that penalty money be paid in the form of donations to nonprofits that supposedly aid consumers and bolster neighborhoods, like the National Council of La Raza, the National Urban League, the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, Neighborhood Works America, which awards grants to left-leaning community organization groups and has been compared with Acorn. We're talking large sums of money being given to very radical groups, money that the court has designated should go into funds in the government in large part to help fix what these people did in breaking it. Now, initially, the strategy kicked off with $13 billion with a B from J.P. Morgan settlement. That changed with the Citigroup and Bank of America settlements, which outright required $150 million in donations. The Bank of America agreement contains a provision that potentially tees up nonprofit groups for another $490 million. To further induce companies to go the donation route, Justice considers these handouts to be worth double credit against penalty obligations. So a $500,000 donation by Bank of America to La Raza takes at least $1 million off the company's bill. And nobody cares. When Obama took office, he handed his famous state-of-the-art election campaign, the data, the staff, the fundraising, to Organization for Action, not to the Democrat Party. 8 years later, the Democrat Party is decimated at every level of government, and they're being overrun by professional agitators. We see a weakened Democrat Party and consider that core America has finally had enough, that core Americans stood up to these left-wingers and forced them to sit down. The truth? Obama did that. The Democrat Party is seriously weakened. Radical groups are leading the charge. Mainstream Democrats are playing catch-up. Organizing for Action has tens of thousands of activists ready to hit the streets at a moment's notice. They do not represent the Democrat Party or its agenda. They do not even know what's really going on. They're given a script, and they're being paid to act on it. When the man in the street interviews are done, we hear their ignorance of the issues, even to the extent that they have no idea who or what they're standing out in the street protesting against or why. And the violence? Well, that's a non-sponsored byproduct. You see, when you get that many mercenaries together and you stir them up, violence is almost assured. But the organization nor Obama condone the violence. The Democrat Party may be dead. They just don't know it yet.